Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this Building a Community Forum using Webflow, Wized, and Supabase series. Today, I'm pretty sure that we're going to do the last stream of the series. Oh, um, we are going to complete everything related to paying for premium subscriptions so the users can access gated content only if they are a premium user. We've been building this functionality for the last couple, I think that, yes, 2 live streams. Today is the 3rd live stream where we're implementing this. And after that, we are going to consider it as a done project. Obviously, there's a lot of things that we could be doing to the community forum. I could be building this for the next 3 years. There's a lot of things that we could be adding to the project. But at this point, it's pretty decently filled with features, this community forum. By the way, you can always go ahead and check it out. We're going to share the link down below because I'm always working on it, but I'm not sure if we even share the link on it. Everyone can use it since a few live streams ago. This has been already public, usable, and as I mentioned, today we're gonna finish it. So I really want to go and start working on it because we've got a bunch of things to do. I'm gonna list them now. The live stream, I will try to make it just 1 hour as usually, but maybe stretches it a little bit longer because I really don't want to leave it half done. I want to finish all of this and then we're just going to call it a day, say goodbye to the project, leave it for everyone to use it, and jump to the next thing because there's a lot of more things that we will love to do as well in live streams. So let's go ahead, let's share the screen, let's review what's been done so far, and let's finalize this. So you already know it. If you've been checking the previous live streams, we've been implementing a premium system for the forum. So we're going to have a premium category, which has already been defined in Webflow, but not yet in Wized. We're not doing anything about it yet. All right. And then also we worked on the internals to handle everything related to creating subscriptions. We created a flow. I believe that it's, hold on, where is it, the flow? Here, where we define how to make sure that the customers have a Stripe profile, to make sure that we can send them to a checkout page, to make sure that when the user either pays for the subscription or cancels a subscription or updates a subscription, that's reflected in our Supabase database. And then once we've got all of this, which is already done, now it's the turn to start working with the logic in Wized, reading the data from Supabase. Supabase now, it's always in sync with Stripe. So anytime that I go ahead and I pay for something, Stripe is sending a webhook. We are listening for that webhook, and we are updating the database to make sure that the user profile is up to date with the subscription. All right. If you want to know all of this, how to build it, go ahead and check out the 2 previous live streams where we worked on this. All right. So what is left? First of all, what is left is that when trying to access the premium category, which right now there's no posts, but when trying to access the premium category, I don't want users to be able to access it unless they are a premium user. So what's going to happen is that the moment that they try to access this and they are not a premium user, just for the sake of simplicity, we're going to send them directly to the checkout, like saying, hey, you want to access this? Please pay. All right. Um, and then also, not only we're going to do this in Wized, we also want to make sure that the data is fully secure. So we're going to come here in Supabase and we are going to update the policies of the posts in the table post and these auth policies to make sure that we no longer want this where all the users can potentially read the data from the database. We only want to allow users who are premium to read posts from the premium category, right? Everyone can read from the other categories, but users who are not premium cannot read premium posts. Hopefully this makes sense, right? And the last thing to implement is that in the profile page, we're going to add another button in here to be able to manage the subscription. So if the user is not subscribed, they are going to see something here like, hey, I want to become premium. And if they are subscribed, then we want to send them to a billing management page. It's called Stripe Billing Portal. Um, and when this billing portal, essentially the customer will be able to manage the subscription. They will be able to cancel it. They will be able to change the payment method, blah, blah, blah. All right. So we've got a bunch of things to do. So let's jump right ahead into it. The first thing that I want to do is I want to go to the table editor and I want to make this category. Hey, Silsa, thank you for coming. I want to add another column in here just to determine if a category is premium, right? So then we don't need to be hard coding that this is the premium category. We can simply identify it in case that in the future we want to add more premium categories. Because right now we only have one, maybe we're going to have multiple in the future. So let's create another column and we're going to call this is premium, for example. And this is going to be a Boolean, which, yes, here is Boolean. And default value is going to be false. Can it be false like this? Maybe. We're going to see it now. Not allow nullable. We're going to always do it either true or false like this. And is unique no, is primary key no. Let's try it out. All right, cool. So nice. So as you can see, this has been created as false. If I want to change this, now I can do it like that. So premium, the category that's called premium, it's going to be premium. Right. So now that we've got this, when we are reading the category, let's go to the premium category here. We've got a request that we're fetching here. Actually, we can check it in the logs. So if we check the logs, you're going to see that when we load this page, um, let me in second requests. When we load this page, we get the category posts and we also get the category, right? And because we're getting the category, request started, yes, here. So let me clear this up. Let me refresh now. Like that. So we first get the user, then we get the category, and then after getting the category, we get the category posts. So between these two things, we want to check if the category that we just got is premium, but the user is not premium. Because if that happens, then what we want to do is redirect the user to the homepage, right? Um, but in order to check this, actually, there's one more thing that I want to do before doing that, and it's that even if for some reason the user is able to bypass this front-end logic of redirecting and they want to query the database directly, we want to avoid that. So as I mentioned, the perfect secure way to implement this is by adding a row level security policy in the data, right? And in this case, it's in the posts page like that. So if for some reason the user still managed by bypassing JavaScript on the front end, they still managed to access the premium page. The premium posts should not load at all, anyways, right? So that would happen if we update the select read access to only allow for premium users to see premium categories posts, right? So first of all, let's create a premium post. So let's do insert row. Actually, now because there's no protection, I should be able to do it now. So this is a very secret post. And I'm going to say, hey, the answer is 420. Nice. Like that. So now you can see there is one post, right, that it's premium like that. But as I mentioned, we don't want people who are not premium users to see the post neither in here nor in here is if they are not premium, right? So let's go to the auth policy here. Let's check this enable read access for all users. And actually, let me copy this, and let's just ask AI because it's always faster. Let's clear the messages and let's say I have a table called posts that currently has a enable read access for all users policy, um, RLS policy. Um, each post row has a column called category ID that points to the categories table. Now, um, some categories are now defined as is premium. It's the true, like that. Actually, let me the categories. Let's give as much context as we can. Table has a column, a boolean column called is premium. I want to update the policy so only premium users can read posts that belong to a premium category. To determine if a user is premium or not, you can check for the app metadata dot subscription field. If the field is defined, it means that the user is premium. If not, the user is not premium and should not be allowed to read posts from premium categories. I don't know if I trust the output of this, but let's see. Hopefully, it will be okay. To update the row level security policy for the posts table so that only premium users can read posts belonging to premium categories, we will create a new select policy. This policy will check if the user is premium by verifying if the app metadata.subscription field is defined. If the category is premium, only premium users will be allowed to read those posts. All right, looking good. Here are the SQL statements to create the necessary policies. Let's see. Create a policy, allow premium users to read premium posts. On posts, for select to authenticated using select.uid. And all right, so auth UID is not null and exists. So it means that there is an authenticated user, makes sense. Um, select from the categories where the category ID and premium is equals to true. All right. And what is this? Select. So if the user ID is not null and does not exist, huh? Right. And then allow all users to read non-premium posts. On post to authenticated using. Yeah, but hold on, because I don't want this to be on the public. So here, this one, I don't think it's correct because it's applying to the authenticated role like that. So I think that we should update this policy, the one that enables read access for all users, to allow selecting from the categories when the category ID and its premium equals to false, all right? But then we will do this so only the users who are I don't think this is correct. because this policy here, it is not checking for the app metadata.subscription field. Make sure to replace the existing enable read policy with this. The second policy allows for all authenticated users to repos that belong to non-premium categories. All right, Supabase, you're doing a bad job here. I'm not liking this. If not, we will try to do this from scratch, although we will have to check the documentation. All right. Authenticated. Yes, it's premium equals to true. All right. Let me ask it. The allow premium users to read premium post policy that you provided is not checking for the app metadata dot subscription field. Let's see. You're correct. The previous policy did not include the check for this. Let's revise the policy to ensure that it checks whether the user is premium based on that field. This is looking a bit better. All right. Now we're talking. So allow premium users to read premium posts. Good. So on post to authenticate it, we must ensure that there's a UID, so there's a logged in user, and then from the JWT, I'm going to assume that the JWT includes the app metadata field. Let's assume that. It's going to check for the subscription, and then this. All right, this makes more sense. Let's try this out. All right, so here, first of all, let's start by limiting accessing read access to all users. Yeah, correct. In here. So we're going to do, I want to update this policy as I mentioned to only allow read access to all users if the category is not premium. So here, let's grab this and I want to check using exists. I think that with this, like that, it should be fine, I think. Let's try it out. I don't know if this will be an issue, but let's try it out. So let's refresh this for a second. All right, good. So as you can see now, I can read everything except the premium categories. So here, I'm not getting anything premium because I've updated this read access for all users only to non-premium categories. And essentially, this policy is saying, hey, actually, hold on, let me save this 1 second, like that. So essentially, this is saying, hey, allow everyone to read as long as the post is not from a premium category, right? That's default for everyone. But now we want to add another policy that it's going to be this one that says, all right, if you want to access the premium posts, then you have to be authenticated and you have to have a subscription field in your app metadata. All right. So let's run this query. It's going to create another policy. So let's refresh this. And now we've got two select policies, as I mentioned, one for everyone and then one for only premium posts. And in this case, this premium post, as mentioned, it allows accessing this as long as you're a premium user. I am a premium user because I'm logged in to the account that we've been testing so far to make the purchase. I'm a premium user, so if everything works fine, I should now be able to see the premium categories. Yeah. All right, cool. Let's see. I'm getting the premium categories. Good. And here, good as well. If I sign out, I am not able to see the premium categories. Perfect. Can you see this? And this is not secure. This is not front end security. This is server side security. This is being protected from the database. So it doesn't matter if people tries to hack around JavaScript on the front end, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't matter. Nobody is going to be able to read the posts if they're not a premium user, right? So let's log back in. If I remember, this was alex.iglesias at fiancé.com. And I think that this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6? Yes, 6. Good. But now we want to add an additional thing. And it's time to go back to what I mentioned, that after getting the category, if we detect that the user is not premium, we are going to redirect the user back to the homepage. So let's check the event. Well, first of all, let's check the get category request, because in here we want to include the ID, but also let's include another thing, that it's the is underscore premium field, like that. So now when we get the category, as you can see, this is coming as is premium true because this is the premium category. But if we check the news, then it should be is premium false. Good. So let's go back to premium. Now that we're getting this field, now we can edit the event, which I believe that it's the get category data. And it says, hey, when the page starts loading, if the page starts with category, let's perform the request of getting the category. Good. Correct. Now I'm thinking that maybe we can run into race conditions here, because we're always getting get user on page load when the page starts loading, and here get the category data when the page starts loading. So potentially we could have a race condition. Just to be sure, I'm also going to make sure that we get the user before doing anything else. So here I'm going to, one second, I'm going to get the user, I'm going to get the category, and then after getting the category here, I'm going to check if the user is not premium and the category is premium, because then I want to redirect the user. So I'm going to do run navigate to, and the conditional is going to be that r.get category.data. Let me see, because I think that we're having some type inference issues here. 1 second. Get category data. It comes as an array. Interesting. Why does it come as an array? Hold on. Because it should be a single object, not an array. 1 second. Get category. Yeah, why are we getting? Hold on 1 second. If we do a get item. Right. Because when getting, hold on. Yeah. When getting an item, we cannot filter. Correct. Yeah, it was okay. So we get the category because we need to filter, because we're filtering by slug and not by row ID. All right, good. So we got the data, and then we're gonna check that the first row, if it's premium and the user is not premium, we want to redirect. So let's go back to the event here, and in here we're gonna say navigate to. We're gonna do this in a second. Actually, do we want to navigate? I think that should we navigate, or should we send the user directly to the checkout? All right. directly later. All right, good. So here, navigate. We're gonna navigate to the account page. Stay with me, which is /profile. Yes, /profile. If the user is not premium. So here, navigate to the profile page. If the category data, the first instance, um, is premium, and the r.getUser dot, I don't know why I'm even typing this. I should be able to, I should just be doing this easier. Get user data, app metadata, subscription, like that. Better, like this. So if the category is premium and there is no get user data, user app metadata subscription, and I'm going to add just in case optional chaining, like that, then we want to redirect to the profile page, like that. All right. So if we go back in here again, I am able to access the premium category. That's good. But if I sign out, let's try to sign out for a second. And now I try to access the premium category. I'm being redirected to, oh, right. It doesn't make sense to do it to redirect to the profile page because the user might be not signed in, right? And in that case, I'm being redirected to the profile, but the profile, there's no user, and then I'm being redirected to the homepage. I don't want that. So we're gonna redirect to the homepage. All right, that's fine. Like this. Good. Perfect. But what I'm going to do is, because we want still people to be able to hold on. This is easier. We can simply say b dot is premium user, like that. Easier, because we already have a variable that it's a computer variable that it's checking for a subscription to be here. Good. So let's add a call to action here. If the user is not premium, we're gonna add, maybe we can add a button in here that says something like become premium. Yay. Yes, let's do that. So on the homepage, let's add another button here. And this button is going to be become premium, like that. Let's make this button like this. Good. Let's make some separation so we can do header buttons, and this can be flags like that, and maybe one rem. Good. But then this button, I don't want it to be a link that it's pointing to here. This is going to be an empty link for now, but we're going to update that with Wized later. We're going to put the URL to go to the checkout page. And we want it to open on the same tab. And we want this to be with, let's say, checkout button, for example. Yeah, or purchase subscription button. Yeah, purchase subscription button. And also we're going to add Wiz Cloak on it because we're going to only show it if the user is not premium. We don't want to have a content flash. So we're going to do Wiz Cloak. And let's just put hide. I think that we've got some custom styles in here for cloaking already. Yes, we've got Wiz Cloak equals to hide. Good. Great. Then if we go here to the home page, let's see. Boom. All right. But if I check the X-ray, I should be able to see the purchase subscription button. And in this case, I want to render this button if the user is not premium. So let's do render if there is no v.is premium user, like that. And now, as you can see, this is visible because I'm not logged in. But if I sign in, alex.iglesia@php.com, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now there is no button like that. The weird thing is that, right, yeah, I know how to fix this. Because here on page load, this is false. But what I want to do is make sure that this is a Boolean. So first of all, we're going to assume that this might be undefined. So let's do optional chaining. Is just do optional chaining to all. And then instead of checking that it's not a premium user, let's check that its premium user is equals to false. Correct, like that. And now, huh, uh, it's easier. Let's just say, all right, hold on. Let's just say that either there is no r dot get user. Hold on, let me check the variables. If there's no user ID, or is not a premium user, like that. So essentially we're saying, hey, if there's still no user ID, meaning that either the user has not logged in or the user is still logging in, so we still don't have the user object available, and then we check if it's premium or not. Come on, why do we have this flash? Let me see. If there is no user ID, all right, let's also wait for if it's requesting the user object, we don't want to display it. So visible if r.getUser dot is requesting, and like that. So we're saying, hey, if the user is being requested, the user object, still don't display this button. And after it's been requested, then only display it if the user is not premium. I think that this should be it. Now it's better. All right, good. So now I don't see it because I'm logged in and I'm a premium user. Let me check now. And now weirdly enough, this is no. Oh, now, sorry, I made a typo. Good. So now, as you can see, I have to become premium. I'm being prompted to it. But we need to do another thing, and it's that on this button, not only we want to set up the visibility for it, we want to also set up the href on it, because we want this button, when we click on it, to send me to the checkout, if you remember, right? So in this case, let me get rid of this for a second. So in this case, what we're going to do is, if we are on the home page and the user has loaded and the user is not premium, then we're going to fetch, we're going to, actually, maybe we can do it easier. Yeah, let's do it easier. Instead of changing the href, let's just listen for a click button. So here we're going to say, all right, when the user clicks on this button, we're going to do two things. First of all, we're going to perform a request to open the checkout, to start preparing the checkout. And then we're going to do another action to redirect the user to that checkout. So this is going to be when clicking on this, let's add an action. And that action, it's going to be the checkout, OpenStripe checkout request, which we already built on the previous live streams. So if we did this right, we come here, let's look for the checkout, like that. If I click on this, it should open the checkout. Good. Whoops, server error. Ah, I know it. we can only become premium if we are logged in. If we're not logged in, we cannot become premium. So we need to add another thing in here. And it's that we want to make sure that there is a user. So we want to say and v.userid and is premium user. Whoops. Like that. So we only display the button if the user is logged in but is not premium. All right? Because if they are not logged in, then we cannot send them to the checkout. That's I got confused, but that makes sense because we need the user to have an account before we can charge them. So, good. Let me sign in, but I'm going to sign in. Yeah, another option would be to complicate a little bit more the logic and send them to the login page. If that's a good idea, Sukumar. Thank you. Let's do that. So hold on. Okay, let me undo this. Let me undo this like that. And then here, when click on the button, we're gonna do two different things. So first of all, if let me add an action here, but we're gonna put this action here. If the user is not logged in, so if there's no user ID, we're going to send the user to the login page. All right. So let's do return. I think that it's /login. I think. No, sign in. Like that. Okay. That happens if there's no user. If there is a user, in that case, so that's just in case, let's add the conditional of if there is a user ID, then we want to open this type checkout like that. Right? So here I'm not logged in. If I click on this, I should be redirected to the profile page. No, sorry, to the sign in page. Good. Now, if I sign in with an account that it's not premium, not subscribed, which I can do right now if I go to the customer here and I see that we canceled the subscription. Interesting. Hold on, we might have a bug then. Because here I've got the subscription enabled. Right? But this has been canceled. Maybe we have some webhook errors. Hold on. Webhooks, event deliveries. Here we created a subscription, but we canceled another one. Which one is this? Because I want to make sure that this is in sync. Subscription price plan. $2K5. Nope, it's not this one. Hold on. FHHD. No. FHHD. Oh, yeah, it is this one. I think that because we were testing things and this created one failed, then Stripe sent it again. And then, yeah, it just, don't worry, it's just a mess of the testing environment. It doesn't have this issue when we enable it for users. I'm just going to resend the deleted event, this one, because the last event that should be emitted is the deleted one. So let me resend this. And also, we should set this. Do you see that these ones are kind of like waiting like this? This means that Stripe will attempt to send them again. But the problem is that we did this during testing and we really don't want to keep this status in here. So I want to make sure that this is, I know this means that it was recovered. Recovered. Yeah, like that. Good. Let me refresh for a second. Okay, good. Now we're in sync. All right. So then this means that if I sign into my account, all right, at finsuite.com, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I'm logged in, but I'm not premium. As you can see, we are going to have these is premium user equals to false. So then this is become, it's prompting me to become premium. So if I click on it, instead of redirecting me to the sign-in page, it should perform the OpenStripe checkout request, right? So let's check this out. Let's look for the checkout request. Let's open this and let's try it out. So if I click on this, it is now performing the open checkout session, which is providing me a URL. Let me see if I can find it. Cancel URL. Success URL field. And this is the field where we want to send the user. So here, after performing the OpenStripe checkout, we want to add another thing we want to navigate to. We're going to make it conditional. So only if this request was successful, so only if this was okay, r.openstripecheckout.ok. And then the URL, it's going to be this URL, like that, right? So if we did it right, when we click on this, it's going to perform the request and it's going to send me to the checkout. Great. All right, good. Now, the problem is that because of security reasons, because we use iframes here inside Wized, we are not going to be able to test the checkout inside the configurator, but we are able to test it in the published side. So let's go ahead and test it on the published side. Let me see. Let's go to the home page. Good. Let's publish this. Great. All right. So let's sign in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. Perfect. And then let's become premium. And this is sending me to the checkout. Great. All right. Now let's purchase with some fake credit card that Stripes allows us to do. And I know that this is a valid credit card. Let's add some month. Let's do 12 of the 26th, for example. 111. Good. Test. I'm from Spain. Yes. Pay and subscribe. And if this is successful, now I am logged in. Great. I'm not seeing the premium button because I'm already premium. If I refresh here, I should see how there's a subscription. Good. And because I'm premium, I should be able to access the premium page. But hold on. Why am I not getting the subscriptions? The subscriptions, sorry, the posts. I should be able to read the posts. Let's see. Let's see. Get category posts. I'm not getting anything. We've got a subscription field. Let me test something for the sake of testing. Become premium. No. Sign in. I signed out because I want to revalidate the token just in case, because I want to check if this is an issue. All right, interesting. So it looks like because we're updating the user here, right? But we are doing that on the background in the while Stripe is sending this webhook. The front end still preserves the old user token, and that user token does not include the the subscription in the app metadata. So somehow we have to force Supabase to refresh the token. Do we have a method for that? Let's see. Create item, get session, get user, send password reset, sign out, sign up. I mean, we can potentially update the user with some metadata, but I don't like it. We should do something about it. Let me see. Supabase, JavaScript, refresh, user, token. Retrieve a new session. Let's see, because we might have to call this. All right, so refresh session with the SDK. All right, we're gonna do this later if we've got enough time. But keep in mind this, all right? So after purchasing, because the user is logged in here, Supabase still has the old token, and that old token does not include the app metadata field that's been updated in the backend. So in that case, we need to refresh the session. You can either do it by with custom code using the JavaScript API, which you can check in docs.wiz.com. If you go to the Wized API, you're going to see how there's a way to interact with the Supabase with the Supabase SDK. That's an option, but there has to be a better way. Later, if we have enough time, we're going to do that. But for now, I want to complete this. We're almost done. Now, the only thing that's missing is that in here, oh yeah, I need to sign in. Hold on, because we just cleared the session. In here, in the profile page, I want to display a manage billing. Hey, Steve, thank you for coming. A manage billing link that brings me to the Stripe billing portal only if the user has an active subscription. So in that case, we want to have in the profile page here, we want to have a button like that. Let's make this like this. Let's do profile links. And let's just make this flex like that. 1 RAM is good. Maybe 2 RAM. Nah, 1 RAM. And this is going to be manage subscription like that. Actually, let's make it 2 RAM. Great. And this is going to be a link that goes to the Stripe billing portal. Now, we want to go to the billing portal, but we need to implement an edge function for that, because in Supabase, in Stripe open billing portal. This set up customer portal. Actually, there's a no-code way. Let me see. Add product, set up the customer portal, activate a customer portal link. On the customer profile portal configuration page, click activate link, and in the ways to get started. All right, let's check it out. Customer profile configuration page. Give me 1 second. All right. Customer portal. So we've got a customer portal link already. Use this link to test your customer portal. When you're ready to go live, toggle off test mode and create a link to share with your customers. View the low code integration guide. Let's see if there's a way that we can circumvent using Supabase Edge function. Integrate the customer profile portal with the API. Learn how to integrate the customer portal using Stripe API. Configure the portal. Now we're gonna need an Edge function. Absolutely. Yeah. Set up a product catalog, blah, 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 preview and test, implement a redirect on your site, create customer portal session. And then we do here Stripe billing portal sessions we created for the customer. And then we have a return URL. All right. So this means that we will have to implement another Edge function to do this. We want an Edge function to send the user profile, so the user to that Edge function to check if there's a Stripe customer ID. And then if that's the case, we're going to open a billing portal session, return that. It's going to be a URL. And with that URL, we can send the user to there. All right. Sounds complicated, but it's not going to be that complicated. Don't worry. Let's go to Edge functions. I'm going to duplicate these open Stripe checkout. So I want to grab this code. Let's copy this. And I'm going to use VS Code, all right? Just for the sake of simplicity. I'm going to, one second, because I'm setting up VS Code. I was not planning this. Cool. All right, so this is the code from the open the checkout, but it's going to be similar to open the billing portal. So we are going to preserve the course headers. We're going to preserve the client SDK from Supabase. We're going to preserve the options methods. Yes, we're going to create the Stripe client. We're going to create the Supabase anon client as well. I don't think we need the admin client. I don't think we do. We can get rid of that. We check for the auth header to get the user token. We get the user token. We retrieve the user. All the same. Great. With the anon client. And then we try to get the customer. Great. Yes. Like that. But here, I'm not going to create the customer if the customer does not exist. I don't want to do that. What I'm going to do is that if there is no customer, I'm going to throw an error, basically. So I'm going to say, hey, instead of doing this, this is going to be just const customer. No, if there's no customer, what I'm going to do is simply return an error response, which we already have in here. So I'm going to grab this. I'm going to go up here and I'm going to say, hey, if there's no customer, we're just going to say missing Stripe customer, like that, right? So we don't need to create the customer. We don't need to update anything from Stripe nor from Supabase, like that. And in here, instead of opening the checkout session, what we're going to do is open the billing portal session, which we can find in here. So this is this, like that. Let me just copy and paste it in here. We need the session and the customer. It's going to be the customer ID. And the redirect, the cancel URL, it's just going to be the homepage. So I'm just going to reuse this. The return URL, it's going to be the homepage. Good. Done. And then we return the session. Great. And then an error message, all good here. That's it. Great. So let's copy this. Let's go to Supabase and let's create a new Edge function. And this Edge function via the editor is going to be called open billing for open Stripe checkout. So let's do open Stripe billing portal. So let's do open Stripe billing portal. And in here, I'm just going to paste the code that we just built. And I think that's gonna be it, I think. Let's see. Let's try it out. We want to enforce JWT verification. Yes, good. Perfect. All right, let's try it out. So this is Slug OpenStripe Billing Portal. Let's go in here and let me put this in something in the folder like Stripe, like that. Great. And inside the Stripe, I want to create another request that it's going to be OpenStripe Billing Portal that goes inside Stripe. And that's going to be a Supabase invoke function. And the function name is Stripe Billing Portal. Now, do we need a specific HTTP method? I don't think so. Do we need it to be post? No, we don't need it to be post. I don't even know why the OpenStripe billing portal is a post request. The OpenStripe checkout is a post request. I think that it doesn't need to be a post request. I think that it can be the default, but we're going to test it in a second. But in here, open the Stripe billing portal. Great. And if we did it right, I should be able to call this and I should get back a session. Great, good. And as you can see here, this session includes a bunch of things, but it includes this URL, which is what we care about. If I go to this URL, this is going to be a portal where, as you can see, I can see the membership subscription, I can see the payment methods, I can see the invoices in the past, and I can potentially cancel the subscription and I can potentially update the subscription. Although, yeah, it's looking for other products from FinSuite. Don't look at this. um, but um, ideally, if it's your own Stripe account, you should not see Wized products because that's FinSuite. You should only see other products from your Stripe account, right? But I can potentially cancel the subscription like that. Look at that. It even tries to give me some discounts. That is cool. That's something the Stripe billing portal does by default. You can, I think that you can do it. You can configure this like in here. Cancellations allow customers to cancel the subscription. Yeah, retention coupons. As you can see, you can configure things. Stripe does this by default. Stripe here, it's now saying, all right, if somebody tries to cancel, let's give them a 20% off, 25% off for 3 months. That's pretty cool. Nice. I could redeem the discount or I can cancel the subscription. And if I cancel the subscription, I should now, no thanks, I should now see how my account is no longer premium. Let me refresh this. My account should no longer be premium. And weirdly, it is. Let's check it out. All right. Because it doesn't cancel immediately. It sets it to be canceled at the end of the billing period. All right. That is good anyways. Great. Yeah, it says here, cancels, blah, blah, blah. All right. So everything is good. Now let's make this button do this. Open the billing portal session and send the user there. So let's identify this as open billing portal button. Let's add on also a with cloak, true, because we only want to display this button if the user is premium. If the user is not premium, we don't want to display this button. So we publish this and let's go to the profile page. Oh, we're actually there. Like that. Let's X-ray this. And we only want to render this if the user is premium. If the user is not premium, we don't want to display this. So if I reload this, Great. It only displays for me. And then when clicking on this, so add event, on click, we are going to perform the request of opening the billing portal. And after that, we're going to navigate to the billing portal only if it's successful. So let me check for the billing portal. Great. Let's go to I need to call it. Let me call this. Let's go to the URL like that, but only conditionally, only if the request was okay. If it was not okay, I don't want to send the user to the billing portal. And again, because this is going to go to the Stripe hosted page, this is not going to be allowed inside the Wized configurator for security reasons because this is an iframe. But instead, we can test it live. So let's go to the live page. Let's check for this and let's see if it's sending me to the billing portal. It is. Great. And I can potentially renew the subscription. Yeah, great. And then if I want to return, it should send me to the homepage. Great. I should be able to access the premium category. Yes. I'm able to manage the subscription. I'm able to see my activity. All good. Great. Great. Can create posts. Perfect. Right. I think we're done. And almost on time, just 3 minutes past the time. All right, great. Well, as I mentioned at the beginning of the live stream, this is meant to be the last session of these. How many series did we do? As how many live streams? I think that we did 13 or 14 live streams. Well, today is the last one of this specific project, right? Now, if you have any questions, obviously just drop the comments here in the video. We still are going to be checking for the comments and we can do future videos or just answer you back to try to solve your questions. So don't worry, we're still here. Starting the next week, I'm going to be jumping to the FinSuite channel, not the Wized channel, because we're going to be doing a series of live streams about FinSuite attributes. So FinSuite Attributes version 2, which was released like a month ago. So if you're looking to see how to implement very complex filtering systems with nesting or pagination or sorting and things like that in Webflow, please go ahead and check out the FinSuite channel starting next Friday because I'm going to be building cool things with that there, right? And then in a few weeks from now, once we finish the attributes live streams, we're going to come back here in the Wized channel and do some more building. Maybe we can build something with a different integration. We've been doing a lot of Supabase. Maybe we can do it something with just some custom server or with Firebase or I don't know. We'll come up with an idea. Or if you have ideas, drop them in the comments. So that's it. I wish everyone a happy weekend. Thank you for staying here for more than 12 sessions. It's been a pleasure. Thank you all. See you next week.